You're tuned to Planet Vero Radio. I am Cindy Schwartz, and this is the Patient Partners Show. It's also a podcast, and it is on Spreaker and distributed on all its platforms. Jeannie Roll is with me today from Indiana on live stream, and we're going to talk, Jeannie, these are your topics, and I've got some information for it, too. I usually do. About photographing patients, taking photos of medical staff, and what all that entails on either side, the he said, she said, we said, they said kind of thing. What do you consent to as a patient when you sign the informed consent paperwork? What is the photography have to do with your patient rights or not? Because patient rights do have videotaping and those kind of things stated on a lot of the informed consent, and how you came about some of these stories that you want to talk about. And I just find it amazing that it seems, in my opinion, some of this is a double standard. I know you'll agree about that. It's okay sometimes to take photos of patients and have it posted on social media. We know that that is not okay. Some medical staff believe that it is, and there's been cases, you and I have talked about it on previous shows. It's been on Twitter. It's been on other social media sites. But then turn the camera around literally when a patient takes a photo of a doctor or a nurse that's treating them, and what stories you've read about that. Go ahead and talk about that, Jeannie Roller.
Well, first I wanted to mention that, you never really know when they are going to take the picture because you actually sign a blanket consent saying that you agree to photos or videos on most consent forms. So you really don't know if they do or don't. The second thing is you don't know what kind of camera they're going to use. Is it owned by the hospital or is it personal? And most of the time you will find out it is a personal phone. So not only do you have to worry about them posting that on social media, but if it's on their personal phone, their spouse, their children, their friends, anyone can see pictures of you because it is a personal cell phone and there's no regulation of that cell phone. Mm-hmm. So my theory is no personal cell phones of medical staff should be allowed in any patient area, period. So going on to what I found is I was reading some posts on Quora from RNs talking about having patients take pictures of them. And one nurse wrote, last night, one of my patient's nephew took a picture of me providing patient care to his aunt. I told him, you cannot take picture of me without asking my permission. He denied taking picture, but I know he did because of the flash and the clicking sound of the camera. However, I gave him the benefit of the doubt and thought nothing about it. Now I am not so sure if I should feel secure as my ID badge was in full view. Am I wrong to feel violated, or am I just being paranoid? And another RN wrote back saying, I have had this happen a few times. I just call security and let them deal with it, as normally they are able to get the culprit to show the pics and delete them. I even had one visitor taking pics of another patient, which is entirely wrong, while that person was sleeping. But you can see the double standard. You as a patient never know when they take those pictures of you, but yet they don't believe that you as a patient have the right to take a picture of them providing care to you. And they certainly don't want their ID badge in the photograph. But all your information, your name, your address, a lot of times your social security number is right there for them in the medical records, that they know everything about you. But it just strikes me so odd that they get upset if you can take a picture that shows their ID badge. They just don't want you to have the right to know who they are. And then when I was looking for this, I found an article, and Cindy, you can probably talk about this a little more better than I can, about a hospital in Florida where the father sues photos end up on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. That was the case. I believe it was a horrific motorcycle accident, and his son, who I believe was 17 or 18 years old, he was a young adult, was not dead at the time they brought him to the facility, but then did die afterwards, and they tried to save him and whatever, and then photos were posted of him. And I want to say, I don't want to say the wrong thing because it's so horrific, but the parent found out about some of this stuff and didn't even know about it. He found out, the father, on social media, which is just, in my opinion, a crime beyond whatever reasonable doubt, whatever word you want to use, because who in the world would want to find out about something like that? It's just unbelievable. It's unreal.
It is. I mean, yeah, and he sued the hospital and won.
Yeah, he did sue the hospital. But the thing that the father did, absolutely. And you know, why do you have to be brought to that point where you have to sue the hospital? So the thing that I find funny, and not ha-ha funny, believe me, but just kind of crazy funny, is that the hospital made a statement saying, now we'll have to go back and retrain and reteach our medical staff about these protocols. I'm like, what? This should be a given, that you give a person dignity. I mean, what medical staff will take a photo of a dying patient and put it on social media? That shouldn't even enter anyone's mind. There shouldn't have been a phone available. I'm with you on that, Jeannie Rolla. I can't wrap my brain around why photos are being taken in ORs or, you know, whatever, wherever place they're being taken, except for it's a teaching specific thing that it's like like a unbelievable heart transplant or something like that, where you'd want to have a video, you know, with not the name or anything shown, where it, you know, this is how you would do that procedure, faster, quicker, you know, whatever, better for the patient kind of idea. Other than that, why are photos being taken? There shouldn't be any photos, and I don't know why we're signing this. It's even part of the curriculum, if you will.
Well, Cindy, it's not only that, but HIPAA, they're taught all about HIPAA, and HIPAA teaches them that they can't do this.
Okay.
And that they can't post things on social media about patients. So it's not as if medical providers don't know this. It's because there is a lack of morals or ethics, I believe, on their part that they do this. They know, but yet they go ahead and do it. So that makes me uneasy, because, you know, yeah, you can go back and reteach them or retrain them, but they've already been taught that. And you know, this is an ongoing training that they're doing anyhow, because HIPAA changes, and you have to, in order to be HIPAA compliant, you have to keep retraining all the time. So it's not as if these people aren't exposed to right and wrong about this, but it's the fact that they're doing it. And as a patient, you and I, we never know until it comes out in the open, like it did for this man, that it had been done.
Mm-hmm. And so my statement is that the people, as a human being, before they ever got into the medical field, you're taught when you're how old? 1, 2, 3? Dignity, rights, you know, respect, aren't you?
Right.
We were. I was.
But it seems to
it's
be everywhere. But it's crazy. I mean, everyone seems to be entitled to dignity except a medical patient.
Yeah, I don't get it.
That's the thing.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. I mean, is it our opinions? Yeah, a lot of this is our opinions, but I mean, come on. Do you really? What is the purpose of doing something like that? I mean, for anyone, why would someone want to do that? I mean, to me, it's just, it crosses so many boundaries. It's just mind-boggling to me. And it just makes me so lividly mad that the poor soul father had to sue to get any kind of recompense or whatever you want to call it, that here's his son splashed across the, you know, blah, 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 blah. It just, that's unreal. Anyway, Jeannie Roller, I'm going to say thanks again for another good topic, you know, to talk about that. And please stay tuned to Planet Vero Radio.